Good morning to everybody, and that today we're going to work on a rag wreath. So I will put my cell phone number on here. If you guys need anything, you're welcome to text me. Also, there's lots of new items going into the Etsy shop this morning. And don't forget, we're going to be live back this afternoon for a grapevine wreath class. And also, tomorrow we're going to have a live bow sale. So be expecting that if you guys want to jump on for that. So here is a 16-inch wire wreath form. Now you could do the smaller ones, you could do the bigger ones, however you want to do it. So this is a 16-inch. So the first thing you need to do is actually cut your material. Good morning, Miss Beverly. Good morning, Miss Roslyn. Thank you, Christy. Thank you so much. So I'm going to take my material and I'm going to put it together here. And I had cut some of my strips, so this is going to make it just a little bit longer, but that's okay. So this will be about a 10-inch cut. So I'm going to take my material, I'm going to line it up, and I'm going, good morning, and I'm going to cut it. So you want 9-inch long strips, 1-inch thickness, okay? So I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut this material in half. Then, first thing though, if you want to save some of your material to actually do a bow, you might cut a couple strips off the edge of it so that you could do a bow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut about 4 strips of the longest point here, right? So that'll help make my loops longer on my bow. So I'm going to cut about 4 cuts, 1-inch cuts, and I'm going to set that material aside so that when I get ready to do my bow, I'll have the ribbon for it. So I'm going to cut 4 cuts, that's 8 pieces because it's doubled here. And I'm going to cut that 1-inch strips. And that will actually give me probably right what I need to make my 9-inch strips here. So I'm going to cut 2 more here. And you don't have to do this if you want to add some other kind of bow to it, it's fine. But you really want to kind of give it, however you want to do it. You can add a sign to it and make it a finished look like that. You don't have to add anything to it. You can just do the wreath itself. So I'm going to cut 1 more strip here for my bow. And this is a 1-inch thick strip. Now I use the longest point of the material and I'm just going to set this ribbon aside, okay? So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to re-fix this here, and then I'll measure it against my cut already. So that's going to make it right about where I need it. So that's perfect, 1-inch strips. So now I'm going to take my material and I'm going to cut that. Okay, so you're going to take your material, fold it over. You can do multiple ones at one time, or you can do it all individually. I'm going to cut it and do it together here so that it won't take me as long to cut this material. So just fold it over, make you a good seam, and then just cut it right in half. Okay, and then I'm going to make sure my other end doesn't have a seam, which it does because I folded it over. And I'm going to cut that one real quick, and then I can cut my strips. Straight down. All right, so there we have it. Now I'm going to take it and I'm just going to cut my strips. Now for my wreath that I'm doing today, I'm doing the ivory. I've got some cream. I added some lace. And then I'm going to add the leopard print in there. And I'm going to mix and match all those cuts into the actual wreath. Okay? So then I'm going to take it and just start cutting my strips. You want about a 1-inch cut of your material. And you want to make it about 9 inches long. Okay? Because we're going to loop this ribbon around the wire frame. And that's what's going to give you your rag wreath look. Okay, so just cutting it straight down, as straight as you can. It doesn't matter if it's off a little bit because when you get all those in there, they're going to cover each other up It's going to ravel a little bit, so nobody's going to look at it and say, oh my God, look, that one's just slightly off, because it all blends together. Y'all, years ago, especially during the Depression, my grandmother, she was a seamstress. One of my grandmothers was a seamstress on my mom's side and did crafts. And then my other grandmother was a quilter. So they used everything to make their stuff. So my grandma said that she used to use feed sacks and make her daughter's clothes. My mom's mother had 6 girls, and she used grandpa's feed sacks to make their clothes. So but back then, they were cloth. Good morning, Miss Maggie. Good morning, Miss Cheryl, Miss Mandy, Miss Pam, Hazel, Miss Angie. Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. So they used scrap pieces of material to do whatever they needed for their family. Grandma would make tablecloths out of them. My grandmother, that was the quilter, she used to use and make little dolls out of different scrap material and stuff. So it is definitely something that they did not waste stuff. So it's okay that it's off just a little bit, right? So good morning, Miss Deborah. So I hope y'all have a fun day planned ahead of you. I have a busy day ahead of me. I'm hoping to get, I got a couple more orders I've got to get finished and then delivered this weekend. We're going to do our live grapevine class tonight. So I'm just finishing cutting this piece of material, and then we'll get started on the actual wreath. Yes, flour sacks, all kinds of stuff. It was so cool to hear their stories. Of course, today people would not even think about trying to survive anything like that. So it's crazy to think about where we are today and how many years ago they had to do that, So grateful for the progression, but sometimes the simple things in life are the best things. All right, so my material's getting shorter here. I'm just cutting these strips. And then I'm just gonna kind of give it all a mix and match, kind of mix everything together, just so that it kind of blends my colors. Of course, you don't have to do that, but that's what I'm gonna do. Heading to the grocery store. Miss Deborah, you have to. I think that if you're out running errands, a craft store does good therapy. So I actually did that yesterday. Savannah's looking at me like, you're crazy. Girl, if you don't go to a craft store, even if you don't buy anything, which, that doesn't happen very often, but it's good therapy. I'm telling you, a craft store is cheaper than therapy. So I keep telling Charlie, craft store is cheaper than therapy, honey. He never complains, so he already knows that when I'm out running errands, like I said before, I'm out filling blankets and doing that kind of stuff. All right, so mix and match all your stuff. So now you're going to take your wreath. Now I suggest that you put the elevated side out. So this is the side that's going to go, the flat side goes against your door, and then the elevated side goes out. So you're going to work with your elevated side towards you, okay? I know. Oh, you did, Miss Rita? Oh, your mama did. That is so sweet. And they never complained. Never, ever, ever complained. And now we complain about everything. We don't, people today do not appreciate where we're at in this life, to think about how our grandparents lived or our great-grandparents lived and the things that they had to do to get by. My grandma would say she would pack water from miles away because they didn't even have running water. And they lived in the hills of Tennessee, so she'd go down every day, pack water. Can you imagine packing your water that you needed to cook or wash with when you have a family? Just think about that for 2 seconds, how grateful and thankful that we all should be. All right, so I'm going to take my wreath and I'm going to start. You can start on the outside ring, any of these rings, but we're going to put ribbon on all 4 of these, okay? So you're going to take your material and you're going to loop it over, okay? So you're going to take it like this. Now I take it so that I want the knot on the front side. So I take it and I pull it up behind the back, taking my loop like this. fold your piece of material over, make like an upside down U, take it, put it into the back, take the knot, and you're gonna loop it up, and then take the material and pull it through. This puts your knot on the front, and that's the side that you're gonna see, okay? So however you wanna do it, if you want your knots on the back, then you're gonna turn it around. But I like the knots on the front because it looks more complete. Now, you're gonna take and you're gonna mix match your colors on every ring. But what I like to do is do one section at a time, then move down to the next one, down to the next one, down to the next one. Because then that way it doesn't get in your way. So you take your material, and once you start, it took me a few minutes, y'all, because I'm very dyslexic, so everything was turned around. I had to take several off and redo them. But once you get it down which way to put the material in, then you'll be good, right? So take your loop, bend it over, up behind the ring, take it in, and loop the material. So you're gonna pull it up. Okay, so that's all you're gonna do, is you're gonna loop the ribbon, the yarn on, or the material on here. So I'm just gonna mix and match my material, adding a few pieces of lace in. If you wanna go through and do your basic colors, then come back and add your lace in between. You guys can do that too. So you're just gonna take it, and then as you pull it up, because this one is dull on one side and printed on the other, then I try to just make sure that the print is up so that the bright side will show. So as you pull it through, just make sure your ribbons are turned so that the printed side is up, okay? So we're just gonna keep working our way around here. Put a piece of lace on here. And do the same thing. Okay, so this is what we're looking like. Now, as you go, you can take it and you can kind of squish it over, make it tighter, and then you're gonna work your way around like that, okay? So just take your material, make your upside down U, and then feed it through. Put it through the ring, come up, make the loop, grab your pieces of material, pull the loop over, and then tighten it. Okay, and that is how you make your rag wreath. And you're gonna do it layer by layer, row by row. Oh, you sure can do that with the tooling. You sure can, Miss Lori. Absolutely. You could add tooling in here. Y'all could do a Cinderella one. You could do a sweet one for a little girl's door with the tooling. And you know, they've got all the sparkle and stuff in there, the glittered tooling. So cute. So you just have to get creative with what. So Miss Tanya, the rag wreaths go for $50, and that is the frame, all the ribbons, the bow, and whatever attachment that I put on it. So $50 for the rag wreaths. And that's my shipped price. So if I sold them at a craft show, they'd be a little bit cheaper, but with shipping as expensive as it is, then so my rag wreaths are $50. So the heart one that I showed y'all a while ago, it'll be $50, and it's going to be listed in the Etsy shop this morning unless somebody claims it on the live. So then you're just going to mix and match, and just make sure you have one piece of material so that you can stretch your material as far as you can. So the one, if you get the 4 blocks of or the blocks of already pre-cut material at Hobby Lobby that are $9.99 now for the actual squares that are tied together, it takes one of those per wreath. Now, the I did add about 3 rolls of ribbon into that one, 3 full rolls of ribbon. So you have to include that into your prices if you want to add any lace or ribbon into it. And then whatever attachments that you put on it. So just be sure that when you're doing your printed material that you get it turned around so that the print side is up. And if you don't, then just kind of get back in there and turn it so that when you're done with it, that it's going to lay your print side up. So I'm just going to keep working around here. So once you get a section done, you can either do the whole outside ring or you can come back in. Did you cut bias or straight? I tried to cut it, Miss Joe, as straight as you possibly can. That gets you the most out of your actual material. Okay, so you want them as straight as you possibly can. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish this section, then I'll come back in and do the next row. Once again, you can mix and match however you want to. It doesn't have to be in any certain pattern, but you want your knots all the same. And then just make sure that you're getting, you know, one good piece here. So if you guys are just joining me, welcome. My name is Bobby. I'm with Blessings with a Bow. We're out of League City, Texas. We welcome y'all. Be sure to check out my events page because all of my classes are free. I had several people ask yesterday what the fee is. So you don't have to, there's no fee, it's all free. So you cut them straight, the material is straight, and then you come back in and you cut your lace or your ribbons and then all your material. So you just lay your material down, cut the seam, and then cut straight cuts. They're 9 inches long, 1 inch wide. Thank you, Miss Tammy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, 9 inches long and 1 inch thick. Now, if it gets a little off, that's okay. You can cut it as small as you want to, but it's going to take a lot more material to cover it if you don't cut them at least 1 inch thick. If you want to go a little bit thicker, that'd be fine too, like 1.5 inch, you could do that. But I just cut them basically the same, and I don't measure them. I measure the first one and then I measure everything against that, but I don't sit there with a ruler or on a cutting board and cut each and every one of them. So then once you get down, you want to get it, kind of give you a little push down here just to make it tight within that. My shirt's picking up everything this morning. So then you just keep going. And if you get to where you get two colors together, no worries. You just scoot it over on the rod, on the ring. And then be careful that you're not picking up the one behind it so that it doesn't get captured underneath there and then you lose that effect. So this is what we have so far. Okay, so now I'm going to come through on my second ring and I'm going to do exactly the same thing. So you just take your material and loop it around and then put it in there and then go. Now as you get layer by layer, just make sure that you're putting your material on there straight and that the knots are back on the front. That way it'll be uniform throughout the whole thing. See, here's a seam that I didn't cut. So I'm going to go back up here and cut that. I saw that when I was about done that there was one seam that I didn't get. Good morning, Miss Debbie. Good morning, Maxa. Brianna. Good morning, Miss Lolly. I hope each and every one of you guys are having a fabulous day. But if you guys are new to my page, be sure to like my Facebook page. Be sure to share us. Be sure to tag your friends in it. Yeah, we are growing. When I started this journey, I started back in March of last year is when I opened my Etsy shop. And at that time, Blessings with a Bow had started out. I had a craft page for years, but I just did mostly homecoming mums and that kind of stuff. A jelly roll work. I don't know what that is, Miss Amy. Tell me what that is. So we started the Facebook page. It had grown up to 1,000 people. And so when I started this back in March, I had 1,000 followers. And right now we're at almost 14,000. So super excited about that. Just love watching it grow. Love watching, learning and teaching people and learning new things and learning about y'all and just sharing y'all's everyday events with you, praying with you guys. So it's so much more. This page is so much more than just a craft page. So our 5-year goal is my husband wants to retire. And so my goal is to have my crafts up off the ground so that I can do it full time instead of nursing, and then we can actually sell supplies. So we'll see what God has in store. We're taking one day at a time and just continuing on our journey and taking everything in the middle of it, right? So here's my second row on that section, and see how it's all filling in right there? So we're just gonna keep going around layer by layer, ring by ring, and that's how you do it, okay? The rounds of cut material for quilting. You can definitely use any kind of material. So if it is a specific design around, just cut your strips in there, make the strips straight, and then they just won't be all uniform on the ends. So you may have a section that's smaller, but you want to cut straight. So if you have a circle and you cut it straight, just make sure that your actual strips are 9 inches so that you have a little bit of a fringe on it, okay? So it just takes lots of dedication, hard work, and time. So we're just taking it one day at a time and seeing how God directs us in this journey. So made a lot of new friends through this page, met a lot of people that we share prayers with, that I talk to frequently. So, you know, the crafting is just the bonus of the deal. It's the fellowship and the relationships. So 42 strips in a pack. So they're 2.5 by 42 inches. So you probably would be able to get several sections of that, Miss Teresa. You would have to cut those down in order to get your actual size that you need for this. Now, if you used a bigger ring, if you use like a 24-inch ring, or I think 24 is the biggest I've seen them, you might get by with the longer strip. So this is a 16-inch wreath. The 9-inch cuts work really, really well on here. But you definitely, for the larger wreath, if you wanted to do that, you could definitely use longer material. So Miss Veronica, swipe your page to the right with your thumb or your finger, and it should get rid of the comments to where you can see what's going on. Gonna come say hi to everybody? Come over here, baby. Wyatt's here this morning. He just got through eating his donuts. Let me try to turn y'all up. Can everybody else hear me okay? Let me see here. Turned it up as loud as it'll go, so hopefully that helps some. So we're just taking our ring, and you're taking your pieces of material. Good morning, Miss Patricia. And we're taking it, and you're taking your piece of material. It's a 9-inch cut, 1 inch thick. Taking it and looping it over like a U. Then you're taking it up underneath the ring, bringing it up and through, and then you're taking that loop and you're putting it over your material. So you're taking it, putting it over your material, pulling the two through, and then making your knot, and that ties it on to your actual ring. Then you're going to put your variegated colors and do section by section by section. Okay, so that is how you make these rag wreaths, and you just go layer by layer. They are time consuming, but it's a good project to get all your material cut and sit on the couch and do it. So, I mean, but that's not too bad. We've been on for about 30 minutes, 35 minutes, and we've gotten this much done so far. So it's a good project for if you have some extra time to sit and do it. And they're fun to make. So we made our rag bow last night. Yes, 9-inch strips, Miss Lori. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you, Miss Lolly. That is what I'm here for, is to help you. If I know how to do something, I will be more than happy to teach you guys. Because, you know, as I've shared with y'all before, if it hadn't been for my craft so many times in our lives, we would not have made it as a family. So between my cooking, my baking, my crafting, all that, you know, it has definitely kept our family afloat. I'm blessed for it, and I just trust God's going to provide, and that's all I do. So if I can teach a family how to do something that's going to earn money for their family, that's what I want to do. So none of my classes ever have a cost, so feel free to join me anytime. I have not had much time since I've been back home to just hop on and do random stuff live, but I'm trying to fill up the calendar so that we can get more classes together. But then once I get things settled down from being gone for 2 weeks, I'll definitely be able to hop back on and say, hey, I'm going to be on in 20 minutes. Let's make something. So just know that there are more classes coming. and I'm very thankful to be back. We had a blessed time. I was able to take care of my family member, got them back up on their feet, and so now I'm back. I'm back. So we're just going to continue working around here. It's kind of hard for me to do this because I'm doing it backwards so you guys can see, but just take it. Now, let me just show you guys. So I have this turned different, and so my loop's going up this way. So I got to take this off because I did it wrong. So you want to get your ring, however it's going to put your knots in the front, and then kind of leave it there and turn it as you go so that it'll all be the same. So you want it uniform around there so that your knots are all on the front side that you're going to see. Okay, now this is the one that I had done before, that I put the heart in the center of it with the roses on it. But as the material goes around, it's gonna fluff up and it's gonna ravel. Then I took and kept some extra strips and made my rag bow on there. So this is the heart one. The styrofoam heart that we did with the roses added to it onto the actual background. And then the rag bow that we did last night, one of the rag bows went on that piece, and then the other rag bow went on my tulip wreath. So yes. Thank you, Miss Tammy. And so yes, if you're just joining and you missed the beginning of this, you guys can always watch the replays on this. You can even go back and pull videos from back in March of last year. When I first started doing lives, you can go back and pull them. If you'll go to my events and click on the upper right hand corner, you can hit all events, and then you can go to past events and you can look at any of the videos. There's swag classes, there's wreath classes, there's candy classes, there's bow making, blanket making, all kinds of stuff on there. Now we're gonna and Reese, yes, thank you, Wyatt. He knows, he's my little advertiser. You can start anywhere on this ring, Miss Tammy, anywhere you want to, and work your way. If you want to start at the bottom and work your way around, I'm just doing it at the top so that you guys can kind of see. I'm gonna prop it up here a little bit, maybe that'll help. But however you want to do it to start on it. It's easier if you actually lay it on a table and do it, but I'm just trying to make it so you guys can see. Okay, so we're starting our last ring here on this section, and see how it just fills in with your layers. And then so once you get it all done, then you can go back and you can attach a sign attachment if you want to. You can put your big bow on it. You could add some flowers, however you want to do it. Miss Eve, if you want to do that, I will be more than happy to do that for you. So just let me know, okay? Or tell me what you want and I can do it. I mean, I can get the stuff and do it. Because I do take custom orders all the time. But if you have specific material that was your grandmother's or something and you want this done, just let me know and I'll be more than happy to do this for you guys. So once you get through with this section, just kind of give it a little push to make sure that it's tight. So if you want to add some more in there, you want to keep it as tight as you can just to make that section really, really full. So I'm going to add a couple on each layer there. Oh, Hello Kitty one. I got you. I saw some material. I think it was at Hobby Lobby that was Hello Kitty. Could definitely do it anything that you wanted to. I was in a big hurry yesterday when I ran in to Hobby Lobby because I was on my lunch hour and I had to grab some stuff for an order and I had to get Wyatt on my lunch. So I was running really, really, really quick trying to get everything done. So I just grabbed some remnants. But yes, you could do them in anything, any color or anything. They had some super, super cute like red and white plaid. That would be so cute, like a picnic, a good spring one, so cute. Now, I've not tried to mix only like attaching the hearts on there because I sold the red and teal one that we did the other day. I sold it the other night on the live, but it's definitely you could do anything with these. You just leave them plain. You could add, you know, your attachments to them. Probably put some flowers on them. Now, I've not put any flowers on them yet, but you could definitely do that. You could wire them into the base, or you could do, oh, from Japan. That's cool. I'm sure that if I, well, my grandmother, I have some of her quilts that she made, and I treasure those quilts. But just thinking of all the material that she went through, and I know that when she passed away that my parents got rid of all that, but that would have been super fun to make some of those wreaths out of her material. Been super sweet. Oh, I know, Miss Gail, it is so pretty. So that wreath will be listed in the Etsy shop here in just a little bit. I'm going to try to take pictures of it. I've got a few errands to run before I go get back on this afternoon. So, but I'll take pictures of them and then upload them while I'm getting my oil changed in my car. Because I just got back from Florida and I've got to get that done. Because, you know how far Florida is from Texas. Forever away. Forever and ever and ever in a day. I felt like I was driving forever. But we made it. We made it back. One piece. So as this material is whipped around in the wind, and you know, if you put it outside or on a cabinet, you know, as the door moves and stuff, it's gonna ravel, and that's what you want. The raveling look gives it that Victorian farmhouse rag style look, and that's what you want. Hey Wyatt, just go with mommy and daddy to the camper, okay? Kids got their camper here, so they're out there working on it. So it scares me when he goes out that door, because I never know. We've got a street right in front of our house. I just don't want him to get out, you know. You got to worry about these little guys. All right, so I'm just going to continue working around here, and I'm going to show you guys how this looks. And we're just about a third of the, probably about a third of the way. Yeah. So this is what we've got so far. But see how this all blends together? And then you can just kind of pull them down, move them around. And then each layer just gives it that different look. See? And then if you get it done and you look at it and you're like, no, there's not as much leopard print right there, or whatever print right there. So just go back, scoot the things over, and add it where you want it. So that's the good thing about these, that it's tied on there, but they slide on the actual ring, so you can maneuver them around however you want to get the look that you're wanting. So don't ever feel like it's set in stone, and it easily can come off if you tied one wrong, or it's not where you want it. If you can't slide it over and maneuver, you can just take it off. It just pull the loop on the top and it comes right off. I'll show you guys. So say I didn't want this one right here, just take your loop, this part, and just give it a little pull and it'll come right off. So you can easily fix it if you put one in the wrong spot that you can't move over and fix as far as spacing is concerned. I'm just going to continue working my way around here, mixing and matching all the ribbons and colors. So you could do this with any kind of material. The only thing I would use, like a cotton or a mixture knot. I would not do this with fleece. I guess you could, but I'm not sure how freely it would move like this, okay? So this is the look that you're wanting, and you just continuously keep going around on all of your rings. So probably to do one of these from start to finish, you're going to be looking right about an hour. But if you have all your material cut ahead of time, that will save you some time as well. And this is just what you call a rag wreath. You could do it in any size, any form. Y'all could even do this. How cute would it be to take the two rings, put them together, and actually do a snowman with these. You could take the material and put the two rings together, and like we did the Easter bunny, you could do a snowman. You could do an Easter bunny with it. Hello, Aunt Nancy. How are you this morning? Hello from Texas. Hi, Miss Christine. Hi, Miss Linda. I think this is the first time my Aunt Nancy's been on. She's all the way up in Indiana. So, lovely state of Indiana. Now, that's a pretty state, y'all. The traffic is not terrible like Miami, Florida. Just saying. Love all my Miami people, but y'all can just have the traffic. I'm sorry. I will pray for you guys daily. It was just, I cannot even tell y'all how bad the traffic is there. Cannot even share with y'all. And y'all thought Houston traffic was bad? Oh my gosh, I was so excited to get back to Houston. I was like, I never thought in a bazillion years I would ever say I missed Houston traffic, but I did. I did. So we're just going to continue taking our material, working it around. So now if you missed the rag bow class that we did last night, so here's the rag bow that we did last night. So if you missed this rag bow class, okay, I will have, you can go to my event page and you can pull it up and go under the past events and you can rewatch it, or go down through my actual news feed and you can rewatch that class. All the classes are on there, access for you guys to get. So Miss Pam, to answer your question, if you go to Hobby Lobby, they have those remnants, or they have those blocks of material that are like 4 or 5 different layers of material that are already cut squared. It takes one whole one of those to do one of these wreaths. Now, these material that I'm using now on this one actually were remnants that I got. So I just picked up 3 different ones. I used the ivory last night for our rag bow, so I didn't have a full piece of the ivory. But I would say you're going to need probably, if you bought it by the yard, you probably would need about 2 yards of material total, would be my guess. I know, it does. It's so soft and so pretty. Miss Christy, yes, that is for sale. So are you talking about the rag wreath with the heart in it? Is that the one you're talking about, Miss Christy? If it's this one here, yes, it is for sale. It's going to go in the Etsy shop this morning, unless it's claimed on the live, and it is $50. And that's the ship price in the United States. Now, I did do the heart wreaths that we did with the yarn. I listed those in there. I have 2 of those available in the Etsy shop for a double door. If you have double doors, there are 2 of those listed. And it's got the pink and the pink and the seafoam green, and those are listed in the Etsy shop as well. Okay, so yes, Miss Chrissy, that one is for sale. It's $50, and that is the ship price. So if you want it, just let me know before the live is over, and then I won't even put it in the Etsy shop, okay? And if you'll let me know, I'm actually going to ship some stuff this morning. When I get done, I can just get it ready and box it and ship it to you. So we're just continuously working around our rings here, and we've got that much done so far. So we're just moving right along as we chit chat, fellowship together. We're just working here. So now, if you guys are new to my page, be sure to like the Facebook page, share with your friends, tag your friends. Our next actual bow class, we did the rag bow last night, but we're doing an actual bow class with wired ribbon. That class is February the 2nd, so that's always a great class to join. We usually have lots of people on. I think one of them have been viewed up to like 28,000 times. I don't think so, baby. You need something? So if you want to join that class, it's a great class if you're new. The Valentine with red heart. So that one did sell, Miss Christy. It sold the other night on our live. The only one rag wreath that I have left right now is that one that I just showed you with the hearts on it, and then the rag bow on the tulip wreath. I do have that available. So both of those will go in the shop this morning as well. I know that heart with the pins on it with the fabric pieces were so pretty, but it did sell the other night and it's on its way to its new owner. But be sure to check us out and follow us because we're, you know, there's always classes. Usually I try to do 1 to 2 classes a week. Oh, have fun, Miss Susan. Have a great time at Michael's. They have all their spring stuff out. Super pretty, beautiful flowers, y'all. Lots of pastel stuff. I was in there yesterday. I was in a super big hurry, of course, because I was trying to get back to do my live. But they have a lot of beautiful stuff. So I'm hoping to get back over there today in between everything else. But we'll see. We'll see. All right. So we're just continuously moving along. I'm going to give this a little push here to make this as tight as I can here so that I can put more ribbons in here. And they're going to continue around doing each layer. But it's filling in very nicely. So if you guys do have to go, no worries. You can watch the replay on this, but you just continue on with your material on around each ring like this until you get your whole wreath full. And then you can add the rag bow to it if you need to, or you want to, or add an attachment to it of some sort. I do have a little metal leopard print truck that I'm going to add to it, and then I'm going to put a big rag bow on here. So that is... So Miss Chrissy, that heart came from the Dollar Tree. It's a Dollar Tree styrofoam heart. I took the material that I was going to use for my rag wreath and I cut little tiny squares, like little tiny squares, probably about 2 inches, or rectangles about 2 inches by 2 inches or 2 inches by 1 inch. Different pieces of material. I mixed them all together, and then I took little safety, little straight pins that you can get with the little heads on them at... These came from Walmart, actually, in their sewing department. They're the short, straight pins. If y'all can see that, they're short, but it had the little pearl tops on them. And then each piece of fabric was actually pinned into that heart to make it look like a patchwork, a quilted patchwork piece. It was a beautiful, beautiful piece, but now that is time consuming. You have to overlap each piece of that material so that the seams are even, and then pin each one of them. But it is a beautiful project if you have time to sit and do one. I said I wish I had videotaped that and then just put it on a fast track for everybody to see, but I had not had time yet to do another one like that. I do have another heart that I'm gonna probably cover in lace and do an ivory lace rag wreath with that lace heart on there. So it's kind of my thought right now, but we'll see if I can get it all put together. Now, I did tell everybody last night that Charlie had found a TikTok on a Valentine wreath. If you have a Sunday school class or you want to make it for your kids' school class, you need one of these wire rings and you need a foam pool noodle. You need some garland, some of the shiny like tinsel garland, and then a thing of suckers and a few zip ties. And we're going to do that project this week. And it's a sucker wreath for the kids. And we're going to make one and send it to school for Wyatt for his class. But he goes, we need to do this on live. So anytime Charlie says that we need to do something, I love to get him involved. And so he wants to do that with you guys this week. So we're going to try it one night this week. I'll get the stuff today, write it down, and make a class out of it for y'all so you guys can join us. Because he wanted to do it, so we're going to let him be crafty this week. I'm telling y'all, I'm going to get him into this before he retires. He just doesn't know it yet. He's sleeping now, so we're safe. All right, so I'm just working around here, just mixing and matching those colors up there. Just kind of pull it kind of tight so that it stays on the ring and that your heart or your loops stay pretty even. That's what you always want to do, is make sure your 2 pieces of material are lined up before you feed them through and then pull it over. That way it makes it an even all the way around. If it gets lopsided a little bit, no worries. You just go back, undo it like I showed y'all, and then fix it. So if you are guys, if y'all are new to my page, welcome Miss Kelly, Miss Karen, Miss Joyce. If y'all are new, please be sure to like our Facebook page, share us out there. We do have a YouTube channel. You can watch some videos on there. I'm actually filming this on my other camera for YouTube also. There's a few classes on there, not as many as I would like, not as many that are on Facebook, because I can definitely load them straight up from the lives. But on, I know Miss Maggie says there's a way, but I still haven't figured that out, how to get them from Facebook Live over to my YouTube channel. So be sure to check that out. If you guys want to learn how to do something specifically, let me know. We are going to be adding another fleece blanket class coming up. Oh, Miss Myra, you could just get you a good movie, some sweet tea, get your material, and just sit down and do it. So Aunt Nancy, we're doing a rag wreath. It's called a rag wreath, and it's just a material cut up, put on a wired frame, and then we're tying it on there, and then we're going to add a rag bow on it, and then do a put a little attachment on there. So it's just Victorian old-fashioned farmhouse style rag wreaths, and it's just cut material that's tied onto the actual frame, and we're making a wreath out of it. So I had done one the other day. If you go back through my Facebook page, you can see it was I took a styrofoam heart and cut a bunch of material and pinned each piece of material, and it looked like a little patchwork heart. And so then I made a rag wreath with a rag bow and put it on there and put it all together. It was so sweet. But it did sell on my live the other night, so I don't have it to show you guys, but there is a picture of it on my Facebook page. So I was doing I had seen some rag bows, and I thought, I want to learn how to make those. So I watched a couple of videos, and I did some while we were gone out of Florida, because I didn't have all my craft stuff there. So I was doing okay, Miss Cheryl, I'm going to put that in for the first part of February, so be watching for that. I'm going to add that class today. So I would imagine the first week of February we'll go ahead and do another fleece blanket class, because right now, guys, is a great time to get your fleece. It's on sale everywhere. And if you have room to make them and store them and then sell them at your craft shows or make them for family, they are the perfect gift for everybody. So we will be having another fleece blanket class. Later next week, we're actually going to have a live fleece blanket sale. My friend Kim that makes them has been working very hard on getting some done. We've had so much fun on our live sales that we are going to do a live sale tomorrow on bows. There's going to be about 50 different bows. There may even be a couple of rag bows, so be sure to check that out. They're going to be at discounted price from my Etsy shop. And then we'll do the fleece blanket sale next week. And then we've got more classes coming. So Miss Kathy, the Facebook page is Blessings with a Bow. Blessings with a Bow. If you click on that, you can get to my Etsy shop from there. You can click the link to my Etsy shop. It'll take you straight to Etsy. And then my YouTube channel is Blessings with a Bow. So you can also do that. Yes, Miss Christy. So the heart came from the Dollar Tree. They still did have some the other day when I was there. I've seen them at several different Dollar Trees. I went when I was even out of town and looked to see what they had at different Dollar Trees. So you can get those. And then the patchwork, I will do another one of those just because it did come out so cute. You guys could do it on any kind of styrofoam and make them Christmas trees, or cut your own styrofoam and make like little diamonds or however. So I will make a video of that or share it as a class for everybody. Let me see, I think I need to cut some more lace. There's one more piece here. Gotten kind of lace happy with this. But you can definitely follow any of those. And if you guys see something that you want to learn how to do, just shoot me a message. I put my cell phone on there. You're welcome to shoot me a message. Let me know, and I'll get the class back on the book. So we're going to do, I know that we're doing a Let me see. Let me cut some more material while I'm talking. I know that we're doing the candlestick with the styrofoam. So candlestick, styrofoam. We're going to put greenery on it and flowers. We're going to put an Easter bunny in the center of it and probably make a rag bow for this. This is going to be one of our classes next month. We have a grapevine class this afternoon. That is at 7 o'clock Central Time. We are going to do fleece blanket. It's coming up. February the 2nd is our big monthly bow class. I have a bow class at least once a month. Miss Tanya, we did the doubled Easter bunny the other day, last week one day, where we took a 14 or a 12-inch ring and a 16-inch ring. We zip tied them together or wired them together, wrapped them like this, and then made Easter bunnies. So there's a whole body Easter bunny, and then there's the Easter head. So the Easter bunny, the whole body Easter bunny, is actually on, if you scroll back through my feed, you'll see that class, or go under my events and you can pull it up. So you definitely can watch that. Now, if we want to do another one of these, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to set another one back up. This size is 16-inch ring, and it takes 2 rolls of this looped yarn. And you get this yarn from Hobby Lobby. Okay, they have the Easter bunny ears, they have the rings there, and they have the looped yarn. So you can get all of that stuff from Hobby Lobby. So if there's something that you're particularly wanting, we're going to be doing an Easter swag. We're going to be doing a, we'll do another mesh wreath class. I try to have the mesh wreath and the grapevine wreath at least once a month, so that people that are just learning the crafting side of things can just jump right in with us. I love seeing you guys' creations. So thank y'all for sharing those with me, showing me what you're making, because it's so fun to know that y'all are being able to do stuff with the classes that I teach. That's my reward in this whole thing. You gonna come say hi to everybody? You're being shy today? It's being kind of quiet today. All right, so we are almost done with this wreath. We just got a little bit of section left, and this is what your back's gonna look like, right? So that's why it's important to keep all your ties the same, and then this is our front. So I can't wait to finish it by putting the bow on there and then adding the attachment. Y'all are gonna love this piece. So I'm just gonna continue on around here and get the rest of this one done. We're almost done. We only got 2 more sections left, and then the wreath itself will be done. So I think I'm gonna have enough material. I had to cut some more lace. So I like to just have extras in case I need it in the midst of everything. But you can always fill in. If you get down and it still feels a little loose, you guys can cut material. You can get, Miss Tanya, what you need to do, okay, here's the trick to selling y'all's items, okay? So everybody has a Facebook group that is in your area, a marketplace. Get on there and post your pictures. Post it to where they can you can offer shipping if you want to. I've never shipped through Facebook because I'm not sure what they charge, but I usually have people porch pick up. I'll have them either Venmo or Cash App before they come. I put the address on, and I put the wreath on the door, so I don't have to have any contact with them unless you want to. A lot of times if I'm home, I'd love to meet them because usually they're returning customers. But use your Facebook because it's free advertisement. It doesn't cost you anything to advertise on there. And then use that to your benefit to show your merchandise. Now, don't forget that everybody's taste is not the same. So what you might make for one person, another person may be like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me right now? This rag wreath is not everybody's style, but it's okay because somebody will love it. All right, so you can get a lot of money tied up in your crafts. So if you're trying to do it for money, you need to make sure that you get it out there and get your stuff sold. Now, I know that I've worked with several of you guys through the time that I've been on about shipping, marketing, just kind of giving helpful pointers. The other thing that you have to remember is the territory that you're in. What I might charge for a wreath being shipped is not what I would charge if I was setting up at a craft show in a small country town. So know your audience, know the economy where you're at. Everybody is not, the areas right now, you know, the whole country is in hard times, I guess you could say. So people aren't really spending tons on crafting stuff just because of where we're at financially with times and everything being so high and people just trying to survive. So right now, because I know that, like, I'm not going to make my $300 and $400 swags that I normally would make for Christmas, just because I don't have the money to tie up into those. I don't want to get stuck with them for months at a time. So I just use my judgment on what I'm doing. You know, with Valentine's Day coming up, I'm going to be doing a lot of candies. I showed you guys the cute little jars that I had made from the Dollar Tree with the Valentine's little hearts on there and the little doilies. So one day this next week, I'm going to make the cinnamon candy and put in there. And I'm going to show you guys how you can take something simple and make some money off of it. Everybody was asking how much of that candy, how many batches does it take to fill a jar? I'm pretty sure that I can get 2 jars out of 1 batch of candy. So I went to Hobby Lobby. When I was there yesterday, I bought all their cinnamon oil back in their baking section for the rock candy that's going to go into those little jars. I know we're still 2 weeks out, but you have to constantly be thinking of the next season, the next, whatever the next is. Whether it's Valentine's Day, it's Easter, it's St. Patrick's Day. I usually make 2 or 3 St. Patrick's Day wreaths, but that's usually all I sell. I don't do a lot for St. Patrick's Day. Easter is a huge, spring is huge, because by now people are ready to get rid of their Christmas and put up something that's going to last a few years. So when you're not a few years, a few months. So as you're doing your crafts, just think about that. And when you're making your stuff, just think about what season you're in. Stuff that can last people a long time, where they're not buying a new wreath every couple of weeks or every couple of months. I mean, it is fun to switch out your stuff, you know, we all know, but you know, financially, you just have to think about where you're at in the economy that you're in. So that's right, Miss Chico. So you just have to know your audience that you're playing into, but let Facebook help you sell your stuff. So get on your community marketplaces, advertise it on your Facebook. Be just like, oh, look at this new wreath I made today. Look at this new item. And if you don't have an Etsy shop, that's okay. Let Facebook do that for you. Where'd you find those, sir? He's being so bashful today. Usually he's right up here in the middle of all this. So that's the good thing about it. And then what I like to do too is if I've had a wreath for a few minutes, come here. Come here, let's say hi to everybody. You want to say hi? Say good morning. Don't do that, baby, because this one's taping. Come here. You want to say hi or no? No? But if I've had a wreath for a little bit and nobody has bought it, then rework it. Bless you. Then rework it. Take it over there. Just add something to it, change the bow out on it, maybe take it apart and add a different sign to it. Just because you made it that way doesn't mean that it has to stay that way. That way you can make a little alterations and you can move it on past. So don't let your stuff sit there. If you haven't sold it in a few weeks, just add something different to it and sell it. But you have to remember too what season you're in. So like the watermelon wreath I sold the other night on our live, super cute wreath. Super fun. It was a beautiful, beautiful wreath. But when I had finished it was at the end of summer and it did not sell. So I just reposted it, gave it a little bit, and it sold. So it depends on what season you're going into. That way you can move your product. That is right, Miss Chica. We love to change out our stuff. So that's the fun part about it. It's just advertise your stuff. Somebody's going to love it and you're going to sell it. So don't give up hope. Just keep working. Miss Lori says, good morning, Wyatt. He's being so bashful today. He's usually right up here in the middle of it doing something silly. But I think he's still sleepy. His daddy got him donuts, so he's carved out right now. Price is not bouncing off the walls, actually. They're not working on their camper. They went to East Texas and picked it up, and they're out there working on it. So we're just going to finish working here, adding these last few little pieces. We got one section left, you guys, and it's going to be done. So excited here to show you guys. Hey, Wyatt, that will cut you. That is a metal measuring tape, and it will cut you. So be very careful, okay? You say that till that thing catches you. All right, so here we go, and we're all the way down to our last section. Okay, now look here. Y'all see this one right here? It's longer on one side and shorter on the other. So I'm going to take this one apart, and I'm just going to fix it because I want it even on there. So you just want to make sure that your ties are pretty even. And if it looks like it's off a little bit, then maybe it's just the way you put it on there. So you just take it off and just fix it. That's a good thing about this because nothing's glued or tied. I mean, it's looped on there, but an easy fix. So we're down to our last little section. Look at this, so cute. So I just give it a nice little shake, get all those extra little strings off, and then we've got our little rag wreath. Now this is gonna be so much cuter when I get the attachment on there and the bow on there, but I wanted to give you guys the basic theory of the rag wreath so that you guys can make these in all your spare time today. And I wanna see pictures. So if you're joining us and you're actually doing this today, I want to see your pictures. So I'll post that up here in just a little bit. I love seeing y'all's creations. She came in and then she went back out. So we are super excited when y'all love the projects. But be sure that if you guys are joining me tonight and you want to make a grapevine wreath, you need a 18-inch grapevine or whatever size you want. And then you're going to need some flowers, some silk flowers, and some a sign if you want to add a sign. And then if you want to add your bow, your ribbons, whatever. So whatever you want to do for your grapevine, grab it. Join us tonight. Make sure that you have some sweet tea for sure, because we have fun in the afternoons. I think everybody's tired this morning, so we're dragging a little bit. It's kind of early. I think this is the earliest I've ever been on live other than shopping. But for a class, I think this is the earliest. Now, this is my first weekend off, and I can't tell you how long. So I was super excited. I'm like, I'm going to go live twice today because I have nothing to do for work. Yes. So, but it's all good. All good. So we're going to finish these last few rows here, get this done, and then we will shake this thing out, and then we're going to get it ready for the attachment. So by this afternoon, when I come back on live for the wreath class, the grapevine wreath class, I will have it put together so you guys can see it. And by then, I'll have the bow done. I am going to try to stop back by a Hobby Lobby and see if I can find some more of that cream. Because I think if I do the lace heart for my other styrofoam heart, that'll look pretty against that lace. Just do it all lace and ivory. Kind of like the tulip wreath, but with lace and ivory. So we'll see if they have any more of it. So this material that I got 3 pieces of remnants, and it is just enough of what I need. So I would have been fine to have a little bit more ivory, but I did save some of that, or use some of that on my rag bow last night. So that was where the other material went. That's the thing, Miss Tanya. So they say that when you sell an item that you're supposed to charge 3 times the amount that you have in it. I can't do that, because if you actually put in every ounce of material that you put into one of these things, people would not pay that. So I have to use a judgment to where I'm not losing money, but I don't make as much as I would like to on them. But my thing is I want to keep moving them and growing them. So one piece you may make more on than the other piece, because you might have caught something on sale, you might have found something on clearance, you might have, so all that goes into factor. But you're supposed to price them as if you had to go out today at market price and buy something to replace it. Say you sold 10 of something, but you got half of it on sale, and the other half you have to pay full price. So you want to market to where you can make some money off of that. Now, sometimes I lose money on my items depending on if I'm just trying to get them out the door. I try not to, because at the bottom line, at the end of the day, I am a business and I'm trying to grow my business so that I can sell supplies and stuff. But I've also been in everybody else's shoes and wanted beautiful things and didn't always have all the money. So I definitely take that in consideration. So I try to be very, very fair with my prices so that it blesses me and it blesses someone else. So, but use your Facebook Marketplace. Just share. Be like, look what I created today. Look what I made. Another new wreath out the door. This one is available if anybody's interested, or do 2 or 3 up. So Miss Phyllis, you take your material. It's 9 inches long, 1 inch thick. Cut your strips. Then you're going to take it and you're going to make a loop, like a U, an upside down U, and you feed it up through the ring. So you take it, we've almost got the stencil here, so it's going to be kind of hard to see. Take it up through the ring, pull it up, and then you're going to take it and feed your tails through. And then you're just going to pull the loop over the top, and then it just ties it on there. But you want to make sure that if you have printed material, that the printed side is up, so that you get the benefit of the colors and stuff, okay? So you're just looping that on there. Let me try to do another one for you. So you're going to take your material, fold it over. Now this is lace. You're going to loop it up underneath, pull it up, and then feed it through. Put the ring over the top and then pull it. So that's the way that you attach these pieces to your ring. And then you just keep going all the way around. And I think I need some more lace. Okay, let me cut a few more pieces of lace. You can use just straight out fabric, or you can add some lace or ribbon to it. You just want it to where it's not raveling. You want it a flat lace or flat ribbon, not like the rippled, what is that stuff called? The rippled lace, like you put around something. You just want it flat. So you want flat pieces of lace if you're going to add your ribbons or material. And then you just keep working around. And then I just always give it a nice little push over so that it's nice and tight in the area. And then mix and match. So this had ivory, brown, the ivory, the tan, the leopard, and then the lace. And that's all you do. And it's just tied like that on each section. Thank you, Wyatt.
Hey guys, this is my pet measuring tape. It's a measuring tape. It's my pet.
You silly boy.
What do you mean?
You're being silly.
No, this is really my pet measuring tape.
That's what I told you guys. We're very family oriented around here. So you never know who's going to be here, which kids are going to be here. We only have one grandbaby so far, but y'all be in prayer too, because Chad and Emily are coming up for their implantation date for their IVF. So we're super excited about that, praying for a healthy little baby. I know they're excited. So lots of good things coming. We just have to trust God's timing with everything, right? So if you guys are new to my page, be sure that if y'all ever need me or have any prayer requests, do not hesitate to message me. I would love to. Ashley is oh, somebody's here. You never know who's going to be here. So I'm just going to finish this last little tie off here, and then we will be done with this. So by the time I come back on tonight, you guys, I will have this totally done with the attachment in the bow on it, so y'all can see what that looks like. So please feel free to share and like, tag your friends in it. Join me back tonight for the live at 7:30. At 7. It's 7 o'clock tonight for the grapevine wreath class. Okay, so here is our last tie we're going to put on there. We'll give it a nice little shake, and then there you have your leopard rag wreath. So it turned out so cute. So thank you guys again for joining me this morning. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Y'all be sure to hop back on this afternoon, 7 o'clock for the grapevine wreath, and let me know what I can do. If you have any questions, I will tag my cell phone number in here. If y'all have prayer requests, do not hesitate to message me, and I will be more than happy to pray for you or your family, okay? So y'all have a fabulous day. Let me know if y'all have any questions, and I will see everybody back this afternoon. Thank you guys again for joining. Y'all take care, and God bless each and every one of you guys.